We're going to start with Sabbasavasutta, a very nice sutta for our practice to enhance the jhana and also to look at the dhamma, that is the teaching, how to implement it. So he says here, I think if you remember, while you were at my home, we were discussing this sutta along with Sachin and Reyes. Okay, so
Hello, Namo Buddhaya. Good
now
morning.
Ashwin. Okay, I think let's begin then. So we're talking about the defilements. What is a defilement? Can anybody say what is a defilement?
Mental impurity.
Yes. So how does that happen? Is that it's like chitta is pure bright light. Now there are some colorations which gets added into it, distorting the original light, so to say. Okay. So then what happens is that when there is color, the mind, whatever we are seeing as mind, takes that color and it sees exactly what it is colored of. Okay, as an example, let's say I fall in love with Brisbane instead of San Francisco. When I was in San Francisco, I loved San Francisco, but I had not seen Brisbane. And now I see Brisbane. So there are now two colors, one San Francisco, one Brisbane, and one Bangalore. Obviously, I hate Bangalore. So there's no need to ask me that do you hate Bangalore? Why? Is because chakuncha paticha rupecha upajati Bangalore vinyana. That's the asava. You got the point. When I open up my eyes, I'm seeing Bangalore. Now, when I see Bangalore, tinna sangati passo, so there is a contact. And that contact gives me a feeling. Feeling is, it's so dirty. Let's say the plastic covers and some, what we can say, trash or rubbish fallen on the ground, and cats and dogs and cows and buffalo, oxen, monkeys, except for giraffe and maybe kangaroo and other things are not there in Bangalore. But otherwise, chicken, hen, goat, sheep, you can see all zoo-like things across going around. Okay. Now, do you like it? The chitta has no liking, nor disliking. By itself, it doesn't like, nor dislike. But the color, it has caught over. Now comes liking and disliking. So when I compare Bangalore with Brisbane, definitely it's B2B. So I want to be in Brisbane than in Bangalore. So now to scheme it out, should do something to get out of the pain and go to Brisbane where I see no pain is one Bangalore to San Francisco. Thus, it's not that happy here. So I find that happiness there. What is happiness? Happiness is the purest state of the mind, the white, bright light, without coloration. That's all what it is. So by nature, the chitta is pure and bright. Abhasaram idam chittam. So what is that I'm trying to accomplish there? Is to know the fermentation. Asava is fermented, like polluted. Polluted by what? Polluted by something or the other. It need not be this or that. So we will come to what are those pollutants later. What's a general pollution? Just like you have a house and it gets polluted by dust, by something from outside. So you need to always clean it. The Buddha says, clean the chitta in the same way. As an example, Upali, who was a dumb person, who wrote Vinaya or gave the entire exposition on Vinaya in the first Buddhist council, got into arhatship by just cleaning the lawns. And he was dumb. His brother was more intelligent, but he couldn't. He remained at a Sotapanna. But this guy became an arhat. What made it happen? It is about cleansing the defilement. Now, what is a defilement? What it is defiling? Is defiling the light from coming out. That's the asava, Pali word. Any questions? Actually, it's like liquor. Basically, asava means. And in Sanskrit, it is ashram, which means fermented. So to do this, what we can do is that we can take rice and add water, or barley and add water, and leave it for months together. And the first thing you start noticing is discoloration. Okay. Then the smell will change because it is rotting. And it rots and rots and rots, and you keep on adding water to it. That completely breaks down. So the molecules will change. The molecular, the arrangement changes. So it becomes ethyl alcohol to some other alcohol, and ultimately it is alcohol. Similarly, when chakuncha paticcha rupe cha upajjati chakku vinyana happens, it's already fermented. It should have been chitta, non-fermented, but it's become vinyana. So then what are we trying to do? We are trying to make it vinyana nirodha. That's the only thing we can do. That's the reason he says vinyanasa nirodhena ettesam uparuchyati. Because the nibbanic effect is moving from vinyana to the chitta, coming back. So the transit point is hadayam. I think when I was at Shenial home, I was giving them the 9 stages of vinyana. So hope he remembers, and you all remember we had done this earlier. Here it is most important. Why are we doing a particular thing? why we can't get into jhana, apart from sitting, is because of the defilements, the coloration. And why does it go to sleep is because of the same coloration. Okay. So then we try to do something about environment. Like I go to a meditation center where the defilements reduce because that opportunity is not there. Supposing if I were to meditate in a shopping mall, it's distraction. There's colors coming all the time. Colors, shape, sound, all that. How about going to a remote place where no thing is there? Is that anything like that? No, because there are trees, so the birds will be chirping. It's still a pain because now you can identify the birds. If somebody is a birdie and he sits in the forest, he will start recognizing the bird sound. Still the defilements are there. Somebody is a gardening enthusiast. He goes to another place. And then what happens? He starts recognizing the trees, the plants, etc. Why? Because of defilement. So there's no escape. We shouldn't think that if I go to a monastery, I will escape it. If I go to a forest, I'll escape it. Nothing of that. So what we need to understand for ourselves is that the defilements are and can be removed by doing like this is aranyagatova. Aranya is not forest, even though the contextual meaning is forest. This forest is inside you, not outside you. You have, or I have, in my example, I have conflicts between what should be done and what should not be done. That's the conflict I have. So the first asava, what Buddha is talking about in that sutta is yoniso manasikara and ayoniso manasikara, not knowing what to be done and what not to be done. So should I not work on that rather than looking at forest as a forest? Because in the forest, what will I find? I find the bushes and the plants and the trees and the birds and animals. So aranyagatova is not going to aranya or aranya as in forest. Rukkamula gatova is not going to a root of a tree, going to the root cause of my own suffering. I have my asāvas and you all have your own asāvas. So we need to do that. Rukkamula gatova. Third one is shunyagara gatova. Shaniel has made one shunyagara. In fact, his whole house is shunyagara. Doesn't have to have a separate thing called shunyagara. Anyway, what he has done is good. But shunyagara is about making mind empty of everything. Just like in Chulya Shunyata Sutta, we should work it out that way. Not creating a place called shunyagara. Because the more we have labeling, so much is the defilement. Because then I will say, if I sit in shunyagara, it will be better. But in fact, the entire Shanial home is a shunyagara. And in England, my home is also shunyagara in that way. If I were to empty the mind of the cows and the dogs and the lion and cheetah and all of that, buses and cars and sound and all of that, can I not do it? Oh, sure, you can do it. Don't get into car vinyana or the moped Vijnana or the scooter Vijnana or whatever Vijnana, buses Vijnana, or as in the case of mosque Vijnana, temple Vijnana. That's it. It's peaceful. Etan Santam. It's peaceful. Etan Panitam. It's excellent. So basically, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have physical things done, yes, but it is not a requirement because it's a defilement. That means I'm not willing to accept the current environment. I'm trying to get a new environment, which is itself a defilement. Because then I feel if I go there, it will work. It's like postponing Nibbana. Clear? Any question so far on this? I wanted to make it more practical, more understanding for me as well on what I am trying to accomplish for myself. And same thing for each one of you. So basically, if I and Shaniel were to meet in this year, our working should be on asāvas. That's the reason I took out this sutta, because it takes some good amount of months for us to work out. So if I were to visit Australia again in this year, so we shouldn't be doing this there. Rather, we should be doing minusing the asāvas. That the journey becomes much more profound, meaning should be able to accomplish or what we are meeting. Okay, this is the first thing we need to understand. So then he says that yoniso cha manasikaram, ayoniso cha manasikaram. Ayoniso bhikkave manasikara karoto anutpanna cheva asava upajjanti, uppanna cha asava pavadhattanti. Meaning, pavadha means to grow. Pavadhanti means completely grows. That means if I am having ayoniso versus yoniso, the ayoniso makes it something not there becomes that. And something which is already there, it enhances that. Because consciousness' job is to make anything grow. It's not about this or that. You just give it anything, it will make it grow. If you don't give the opportunity, it will not establish. That's all. So the only two choices is there. One is established consciousness, another was unestablished consciousness. So the objective is, arhat is unestablished, and a putujana is established. And name and form is the asava, basically on consciousness. So vijnana, how does it come? Namarupa samudaya, vijnana samudaya. Namarupa nirodha, vijnana nirodha. This we need to remember. And what is vijnana? That which knows. And what does it know? This is pleasant. This is unpleasant. This is neutral. It knows. Or it knows like a taste. Sweet taste, sour taste, astringent taste, salty taste, like that. It knows. So when I say, should I know something? There's already a knower. That knower as a feeler. Now it's like a tentacles. Let me open up all the tentacles for you. So there is a knower. And there is object to be known. So there is a subject-object relationship. The subject has no problem, but the object association becomes the problem. When it becomes the vijnana, not right knowledge, ayoniso. The subject is the eye. It has no problem. The subject is the ear. No problem. None of the subjects have any problem. None of the object by itself also has any problem. Because all are made out of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. That's all. So it has no problem, including a mobile phone or a house or a computer or a table or a chair or a human or an animal or anything that is created has no problem because it's actually made out of these four elements. Nothing in that cupboards of Shaniel is anything other than four elements. And nothing other than the person called Shaniel sitting is other than four elements. So that has no problem. But the consciousness, when it connects it, has a problem. So who has the problem? It's not the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and the mind has a problem. It's not the sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, and thoughts have a problem. It's the association with these two is the problem. That is the reason it's called Sadaitana, six ayatana, meaning to say that it goes for grazing. And when it grazes wrong things. Shouldn't be grazing anything. It's wrong. Okay. So what should I do? First task is need to know that there are two kinds of mindset. One is with discretion, called a discretionary mind, where you can evaluate what is real and unreal. One is non-discretionary mind, which takes things as it is. As it is means, I see a woman, I call her a pretty woman. When there is no woman at all existing, I make it a pretty woman. And then that's it. Like I was telling Shaniel on the other day when we were driving, that Shaniel or somebody, I don't know whom did I say, but anyway, if I'm mistaken, please forgive it. Is that if we were to, I think I told Viren, either of the one I've told. If I were to gone, if I had gone to a nude beach. So the question was, how do you know? Sajal, or three out of these three. Anyway, forget it. So to whomever I said, so let me repeat this. He was asking me a question. How would anybody know that he has reached Anagami stage? Okay. I said, let's go to a nude beach. That's the only way you can see it. How? Number one, you create a nude beach in the mind. When there's nothing called nude beach. The beach is always nude only, right? Does it require any dress to be put on that? Just think. Every beach is nude. It has only waves and sand. That's it. Is there anything covered there? No. Now, who is nude? If this is understood properly, he's an anagami. Why? He never entered nude beach because there was nothing nude, because everything over there is nude. There is rocks. It's not covered. There is waves of the ocean, Pacific Ocean. The same Pacific Ocean area where we went to San Francisco area, the same Pacific is there in Australia where we went. Same Pacific. There's no difference in Pacific Ocean. Okay. Now, they also call it as Pacific. You also call it Pacific. So the waves which were coming is coming from San Francisco area. Basically, it's down under. That's it. So, is it nude? What is nude? There's nothing. Now I create a nude over the nude, meaning I will say it's topless. It was topless from beginning. You can't see the bottom anyway of the ocean, right? And when we sat into that Pacific, did we see anything called topless or bottomless? Because it was topless, the waves are topless, the sand is topless. No, you're missing the point. You are not seeing the woman. Woman, what's a woman? Now you see this fun. The tentacles is there's a feeling. The first tentacle you get is the feeling. Feeling of what? I'm not interested in the beach. I didn't go for the beach. I'm going there for the woman or the girl sitting there. Every piece of cloth, what she's wearing, is a burden on my consciousness. And every piece of cloth which is removed by her is a pleasure to my eyes. And that's the reason I coin it as nude beach, or it is coined as nude beach. Not the nude as in the ocean, not in the nude as in the rocks and the whatever sand, or in the corals. Nude as in a human being not wearing anything. And not the male kind, female kind. Now that makes sense. And that way of seeing is kama asava. Because it's created, it's never been there. Every man, every woman has only the foreskin, the skin, that's it, and flesh, which is made out of food. If I can see, minusing the woman, only the nudeness of the skin, then the Kamachanda. Because I'm using Yoniso Manasikara instead of Ayoniso Manasikara. So for the Rupa, what I am seeing, the form in the beach, I am not distinguishing between the nudeness of the ocean and the sand and the nudeness of a body, because they both are the same. One is moving around because of consciousness. Another one has no consciousness, so it can't move. So now my question comes to my own mind is, why am I naming something which is moving as good or bad? Who is moving? Consciousness is moving, that object. If the conscious were to depart from that body just falls down next to the shore. Let's say a woman has gone on swimming, or she has gone on a, let's say, surfing, and her whatever dress got entangled and it got up here and she couldn't breathe and she got unconscious, and some lifeguard person pulled her and then put her down, like the Baywatch which used to come, and they tried best. They couldn't recover because the consciousness departed. Now what happens to that body? We call it lifeless. If you keep it next to the sand, isn't that both the same? It is the same, exactly the same. After some time, it will start rotting. Then we can see the fermentation. That's the asāvas which comes out. It's all food fermented. That's all. So what happens? The flies will start coming inside the mouth, the nose, wherever there's hole, and they leave the eggs after it hatches becomes called as maggots. All of that start coming from ear, nose, mouth, and every part of the body. And if you sit long enough, it starts to feed on every part of the body. Eyes will pop out, it's all gone. Then this will just like this, and then it's gone. Every part of the body is completely removed till it comes to the skeleton level. Isn't like the shell on the ocean floor? Yes. If that were to submerge there, isn't it become part of coral reef? Yes. And can you name it as now Great Barrier Reef? Yes. So all the bones that is accumulated there, isn't that the same then? What we call as fossils? Yes. Then whom did you see in the beach? Fossil. And that's an enlightening moment. And the defilement just went off because of Yoniso Manasikara. So then there are two ways of removing Yoniso, this defilement. First method is by discernment, not through jhana, not through the vipassana of any tradition. You just use wisdom. It's called panya. So there are two ways of doing things. One is through the saddha, one is through dhamma. The saddha person is not able to discern like this, so he has to work out a lot. The dhamma person is one who doesn't require this way. He can discern. And they both submerge into a place called as, or a state known as the kaya sakhi, wherein he enters into jhana. Then the defilements are seen, just like to still the mind completely. And then you can see the entire column of water and the sediments are there down there. It's not shaken. What you do? Put your hand slowly, 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 and pull it out without shaking it and throw it. Now that much portion is gone. So the ayoniso manasikara, which was there, now becomes more and more yoniso manasikara because the defilements have reduced. So that removes the first three fetters or it removes the first five fetters. If it removes the first three fetters, the person is called sotapanna because of defilements coming lesser. Or if he completes first five fetters out of 10, the lower fetters, then he is anagami. So what Buddha says is that bring in your yoniso manasikara. So he says, Atti bhikkhave asava dasana pahatabba, atti asava samvara pahatabba, atti asava patisevana sa pahatabba, atti asava adivasana pahatabba, atti asava parivajjana pahatabba, atti asava vinodana pahatabba, atti asava bhavana pahatabba. These are the 7 different kinds of removing. And hence I told Shaniel, as far as possible, attend this 1 p.m. thing, because if we were to meet again, which we are meeting, this is important. But then we continue from there and our tour doesn't go waste. That we sit and do this, that means it'll take out so many days of ours. It's no point. We can do it without, we can do it on our own and then meet up and take 2 3 days to look at where we are on this asāvas, and then we do the retreat together. Okay, so now this is what we need to understand. By another thing I forgot to add was on the yoniso and ayoniso, manasikara, and what is manasi and kara and all that. Out of the 9 state of consciousness, it is, you have chitta, mano, manasam. So manasikara is part of mano. That is, it recognizes. You have a cognition. You just cognize. That's just something there. Just an object. So the subject, this object connection is what the mano is. Kara or kara. Kara is hand. Kara is to do. Yoni is the womb or the starting place. Ayoni is not knowing the starting place. Meaning, if I call somebody as my wife, the starting point is marriage. Before that, I never had a wife. This way of seeing is yoniso manasikara. Ayoniso manasikara is I have my wife. Whether I call it as ex-wife or Y-wife or current wife or whatever it is, the wife remains a constant. That's kama asava. I'm not able to let go of that wife. So, you just like whenever we used to travel, you used to just tell me that's her place, which is an asava. Okay. Now, can I let it go? Yes, because she no longer is your wife. Yeah, she's a friend. Agreeable. Now, can I be, this is interesting. Listen to this. Can I be a friend to the wife without taking herself to be my wife? I'll again ask this question. Can I be a friend to the wife, current, divorced, whatever, it doesn't matter. Can I be friend to a wife in such a way that the wife is removed, but the friend remains? That means the metta remains, but not the wife. If yes, there's a dent in the kamas. Got it? Because this kamasava is the one which will not allow us to get into arupa jhanas. No matter how much we try to get into arupa jhana, it will not work. Because that conditioning. In fact, the fourth jhana also we attend limited. We can't remain in the fourth jhana for a long time because the equanimity keeps on going away. So, can I make friends without relationship? It's possible because a brother comes into existence because he's born with the parent, with the same parent, but he's another human being. A sister comes into existence in the same form. A wife comes into existence in the same way. If children come into existence in the same way. So, can I now work out in removing the children, removing the wife from my mind through yoniso manasikara, going to the root? If I was not married, if I never had a sexual intercourse with anyone, for that matter, can there be a situation independent of the sexual intercourse to have children? And the answer is no. In that case, do I have children? No. You had only sex. As a result, you got a child. It's not you got children. As a result of this is a child. So there's a cause and effect. If I take a cause and effect diagram, I can now do an RCA, root cause analysis. How did I get a child? It's because I had sex. Simple. If I had not had sex, could I ever have a child? And the answer is no. Now I see anybody having sex will have child. Like dogs, cats, donkeys, elephant, including plants, they go on asexual mode. So they'll have offsprings. Humans do the same. When I see this way, can I now see that due to sex, I had a child? No sex, no child? Perfect. In that sense, is it my child? It's just a child. It will grow, it will mature, it will die. I also had the same. Now, does that mean I need to demean my parents? No. I'm just trying to see through Yoniso Manasikara. Yes, now we see a being coming in the womb. So they have given me space, just like I have given space to somebody whom I called my son. Now we can see two things. One, a relationship as a son, daughter, like that. One, a being has come in the sansara. It has entered into suffering as a son, into suffering as a father, into suffering as a wife, into suffering as so and so. So we can see two things happening here. One thing is the suffering itself. Another thing is a relationship. So now if you were to hold on to the relationship, we can increase the suffering because all relationship will get broken. So now I sit and realize through dasana pahatab, seeing it as it is, that my cause of suffering is the relationship. Can I now work out on removing the relationship, not physical, from the mind? Because wife is an object stored in the mind. Nowhere else can I experience a wife. Where do I experience wife? The object comes, it hits into my eye sense doors. And the eye sense doors doesn't say it's a wife. The consciousness which arrives due to that eye sense door says wife. That is chakuncha paticcha rupecha upajjati wife vinyana. Instead of just a vinyana coming. So can I now have a yoni so manasikara? That means pull back from the vinyana to the mano level and see it's only a contact point, nothing else. Just a bare cognition. Then what happens to the wife? It's gone. The asava of the wife is gone. Why? I've removed all of that dirt from there onwards. So then what happens? So the kama chanda, the interest towards the sensual, towards wife is gone. In the same way, towards the feminine object also is gone along with that. Because no longer I can create any relationship. If I can't create any relationship, is there any vyapada then? Anger, fury, frustration, aversion, agitation, whatever we want. No, because it's connected with Kamachanda. Can I then see the ending of this suffering? Yes. Can I be confident of being as anagami? Yes. Why? Because that asava is gone. Now I feel very compassionate to that human being because it is suffering. It has taken a role and it is suffering with that role. Now I am trying to help that person, saying that I give you some of this dhamma to you, which will make you come out of this suffering. Would you like to try it? It makes sense. It's not about what I should eat and what I should not eat. It's not about what I should drink or not drink. It's not about where I should stay and where I should not stay. That's a useless talk. Can I cleanse the mind of this defilement? This particular defilement. I might be attached to something. Can I remove that attachment? And then it makes sense. Now I have used Yonisamansikara. Once I have Yonisamansikara, it's easy. For everything I can do it now. If I were to drink tea, I can come up with Yonisamansikara. If I drink coffee, I can bring Yonisamansikara. If I'm eating something, I can bring in Yonisamansikara. So basically, I can bring Yonisamansikara for everything. Going back to the root. How does a tea come to be? Water, tea powder, milk, and sugar. Can there be a tea independent of these four ingredients? No. If I remove sugar, can it be called as tea? No. If I remove the tea powder or tea bags or whatever it is, can the tea be made without that? No. Can I remove the milk and the sugar and the tea bag and yet call it as tea? No, it's just water boiling. So that boiling of that tea, isn't it not a fermented thing? Because it's now distorted, it's colored. Yes. Only when it is colored, it can be called tea. Only if it is colored, it can be called as coffee. Only if it is colored, it can be called as an aerated drink. If it is non-colored, you can only call it as spring water, you can call sprinkling water, you can call it as water, but not any other color. Plain water. So can I now remove that tea from the mind and yet drink tea? Yeah, just like any food. Should you drink tea? No, never. But I saw you drinking tea. I didn't drink tea. You're telling lies. So what do we do? Say, yeah, you're right. I drank tea. That's a better thing. Otherwise, this argument is going to be there. I'm going to say, I didn't drink tea. And that person will say, you had tea. I saw you drinking tea. Because both the teas are in the mind. I not drinking tea is in the mind. You drink, that person telling me I'm drinking tea is in the mind. It's better to just say, yeah, so that I don't trouble that person. Because both of our experiences are in the mind. Because the same colored liquid is called as tea and he has seen it. So he has registered it. So whenever he sees through vijnana, he sees tea. Just like nude in the beach. What do you mean nude beach? Beach is always nude. I never knew that the beach will be covered with something. Beach is beach. Sand. Along with that, this ocean waves or water. Basically water and sand. Pathavi and Apo. That's it. What else is there in the beach? Where is the nude in the beach? So when I was there in this Sunshine Coast or whichever coast or whatever it was, only one thing I couldn't do is to go to the nude beach. I went to the beach. I couldn't go to the nude beach. The so-called nude beach. If I had gone there, what would have happened? Can bring the vijnana to directly to mano. Nothing will be there. In fact, I and Bobby and Marin, we went to one, I think we went to the Victoria Point and we crossed into some island. So there we saw some two women sunbathing. So I was saying to them, if you put your eyes on that and make it, create it, then you can see something. Otherwise, nothing can be seen. But to create both the woman and you have to create everything around that. And then the Kamachanda will arise. If you don't create anything, because that doesn't come in your manasikar at all. That doesn't come, doesn't work. It'll be just plain without anything. So you'll not have any bikini or whatever called as. It's called as. It's just created. Doesn't really have anything. Because everybody's body is made out of the skin with flesh. Nobody has anything more, anything less. Yes, Saryu.
I guess you can become aware of the creation that you can be able to revert that process and go back to where before it has been created.
Exactly. That is the state of yoniso manasikara. The manasikara is there. It wants to do something, but in two dimensions. One yoniso, one ayoniso. Taking things as they are is ayoniso. Going back to how it was is yoniso. So yatha bhuta jnana, what Buddha talks about, is as it is before the modification. Like the Sunshine Coast, I and Bobby went. We never saw the sunshine. It was a rain shine coast. It was raining. We went on 14th and some dates. We went. We had booked a cabin and some tents they had brought. The rain was so much, the tents were wet. In the cabin, 14 people had to sleep. Okay. And next day it was sunny. But where was the sunshine? And some guys, they stay in Springfield. Where is the field and where is the spring? I couldn't see it actually. There's a place called Ripley. What does that mean? What is Ripley? And Queensland. Where is the queen in that land? Which queen? Who queen there? Okay, you see this fun. And I was watching from the flight, barren hill. Hills are always barren. I didn't know you have to name it to call barren. And I saw another one while it flies through Perth. So I was seeing some crazy names. I was laughing at what all a human being puts there and makes it to be real. And that's the cause of suffering because it's unreal. You make it real. Just by labeling, it becomes real. Okay, so we plucked some fruits at Daniel's home. It's persimmon. And whatever that names are, who gave it, I don't know, but whatever it is. Now the taste is a fruit which has what? It has sucrose, which is again part of apodhatu. It has a skin, which is patavi dhatu. It has temperature, tejo dhatu. It has movement inside, which is vayu dhatu. It occupies space. So, akasha dhatu. Where is persimmon? Where's that fruit? He gave me another two more fruits. In fact, Bobby gave me one, I had plucked one called passion fruit. I couldn't find a passion in the fruit. In fact, the fruit itself looks passionless. Now I brought it to Bangalore. We had to eat that so called passion fruit. Okay. Now the Kama Chanda is in these. If I can make it to Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo, Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo, Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo, then the Kama Chanda just. So that way of seeing is the first one. Dassanena Pahatam. Katame cha bhikkhave dhamma na manasi karaniya ye dhamma manasi karoti. Yassa bhikkhave dhamma manasi karoto anutpanno va kamasavo upajjati uppanno va kamasavo pavadhati. Anutpanno va bhavasavo upajjati uppanno va bhavasavo pavadhati. Now you see between Bangalore and Brisbane and San Francisco, Bobby will be very happy to know that I have now fallen in love with a new girl called as Australia. If I were to travel to Australia another 6-7 times, I would surpass my visit to America. And then it comes to a tie situation between Australia and America. My old love, America, she suddenly looks to me as an aged woman, almost about to die. And Bobby and Sajal changed my view of Australia by saying, this will be the last part of the world where Buddha Dhamma will be there. So I am on Buddha Dhamma. Shouldn't I be reborn in Australia? if not reborn in Australia, at least can I stay in Australia for some time? So I have some good friends who are willing to take care of me. I just need to create some stories, and then I'll say I'll pay for the flight ticket. Don't worry. But you just take care of me at your house. They say, yeah, what a nice person. This is bhava asava. So kama asava goes along with bhava asava because I want to be. So now the question between jati and bhava, which is stronger? Is jati stronger or bhava stronger? Bhava is stronger than jati. Between upadana and bhava, which is stronger? Upadana is stronger or the bhava is stronger? Upadana is stronger. Between upadana and tanha, which is stronger? Tanha is stronger or upadana is stronger? Tanha is stronger. Between tanha and vedana, which is stronger? Vedana is stronger or tanha is stronger? Vedana is stronger. Between vedana and phassa, which is stronger? The contact is stronger than the vedana or the vedana is stronger than the contact? It's the contact. Cut the contact. That's what Buddha says. He never says do anything with vedana. Remove the contact. Then the end of suffering. Now we can see I have a tie. This is my only first visit to Australia. Slight change in the psyche. Why? During my American visits, it was always with Kamachanda. I was working. All my friends were enjoying life. We went here, there, good eating, good drinking, blah, blah, all that. Australia, my relationship with Australia is on Dhamma. So I went to a place called Dhammagiri, then I went somewhere else, and Bobby and Marin, very good Buddhist. And I met Cheniel in the end, and that transformed my vision of where I should be, and then all other friends. Shouldn't I now go and settle down in Australia? It's a Dhamma country versus America, which is Kamachanda country. What do you think? So it's a tie. The tiebreaker is where my heart melt. So this is the first time visit to Australia. Now I again visit the second time, then the third time, then the fourth time, then the fifth time, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ninth time Australia will make tie between American continent and Australian continent. The 10th one, meaning if Ariu doesn't call me back to America again, or somebody else doesn't call me to America again, then the tie this goes like this. Australia comes up and America sinks. What if I keep on coming to America? Then looks this way. Either way, it is karma. Why? Yoniso manasikara has not been done. In Yoniso manasikara, if you see from top, it's just a piece of land with some vegetation. That's it. So if you take an Indian continent like this, and an American continent like this, and an Australian continent like this, all the three are land masses. Number one, covered by water. Number two, too much of density of population in this piece of land. This piece of land is spread out, so not much of density of population. This also is like this, not much people. So the more the people, the more the fights for survival. The lesser the people, the lesser is the fight for survival. And hence the survival of the fittest. Because consciousness would like to survive. Which consciousness wouldn't like to survive? I don't know. Bhavasava is there, wants to become. Now, if I put Bangalore versus Brisbane versus San Francisco, there's a will to survive. So I need to be on kama tanha, craving, bhava tanha, to become, vibhava tanha, not to become. I don't want to become an Indian again. Why? It's painful. Australia, nice. As a Shaniel says that, Vilas, I would like to get you a PR. Would I say no to it? And the reason why I'm asking him shamelessly is because he is running a software company. That's more easier as against Ariu. Ariu is working for a company, whereas Shaniel has his own company. So now he getting me H1B visa is difficult, whereas Shaniel getting me a job or a visa, whatever, is easy. So I would rather polish Shaniel than polishing Ariu because it's karma. So this I can see. So if I'm really an anagami, what's that I'm going to do? Not have Shaniel, not have Ariu, not have anyone, because they all Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Yes, Ariu.
And because you're always in jhana, so you're always in love with yourself than with anyone else.
Exactly. So there's nothing to do. I would not find any difference between me and Shaniel while at his home. Couldn't find. And while I was there with you, Ariu, didn't find any difference. When I was with Bobby, never found any difference. And when Ravindra was there at my home last month, before I came to Australia, never found any difference. Today, Ashwin is coming, will not find any difference. So the mind will be still, irrespective of the place. The only thing I could do in Shaniel's house, as opposed to your home, Ariu, is to pass more energy there. But next time I come and meet you, Ariu, I'm going to do that. I feel very sorry that I used all the energy, did not leave anything for you. So next time, I will keep guard of that. Not that you should call me because of that. If we were to meet, then definitely I would like to give it to you so that you can grow from that. So after experience of America, what I did in Australia is not to uh, use my energy in more and more, rather conserve it and give it. That's what I did. That for some reason I couldn't do with Chirag. I think I need to do it if I meet him again, and I need to do with you, more with you as well, because you're staying alone. So if that will help you to break many of asāvas. So next time I'll do that. So it stays at your home. Then on that you can grow it. So next time around, Ari, you don't book too much with too many people. So let's restrict so that I don't keep on donating to many people and make you broke. Anyway, coming back to this aspect is I need to apply. Apply what? apply that the kamasava reduces and the bhavasava reduces. So he says, Tassa amanasikaraniyam dhammanam manasikara manasikaraniyam dhammanam amanasikara anutpanna cheva asava uppajjanti uppanna cha asava pavadhanti. That means if you do for what you should not be doing, like the nude beach, I'm so desperate, I want to go. And these three people, Sajal didn't take me, this Shaniel didn't take me, Viren didn't take me, Bobby couldn't take me. What a sad state of affair. Going to Australia, Brisbane, and not going to nude beach is a shame. Just like going to Australia and not seeing the Great Barrier Reef. Because if you were to come back from Australia and then they ask you, what did you see? Didn't go anywhere. What? Then for what reason did you go? Then if you did not see Great Barrier Reef, such a shame. Why? Because that's kama asava. That's an asava. So it starts to grow. Because amanasikara of what needs to be done and manasikara of what shouldn't be done is what created this. So if I were to go to nude beach, for sure, what I would have done, I knew that the beaches were always nude from the beginning and they were topless. The bottoms, nobody can see. Doesn't matter. I would have made everything topless. It's just Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu moving here and there. Nothing else. So what would happen? Nothing. So did you go to nude beach? Yes. When? All the time. Whichever beach I went was nude only. So that removes the kama asava. It's a very easy way of working out. It's not that we should close our eyes. We should open the eyes and see what should be seen through panya, wisdom. So chakkum udapadi, jnanam udapadi, panya udapadi, aloko udapadi. Isn't it wonderful that you see the nude beach being nude all the time? That's a fact. It has only water and sand, which is Patavi and Apo. What else will you find? And what else will you find in a human being body? Isn't it just water and the Patavi, solid and liquid? Yes, are you?
I guess in this sense, it's necessary to get into the situation where the asava can come out, so you can deal with
Exactly,
it.
than suppressing it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason while in the US, as I was saying, we need to go to the mall, we need to go here, we need to go there, because then we are in line with seeing the asavas. If we more and more withdraw it, don't come out. It's just like you're not shaking up. So if you don't shake up, what will come out? See, if I stay in Shaniel's home for 3 months, and let's say Shaniel also says that I'll not work for 3 months, in the 10-acre land of his, no asavas can come. One day we can go out and we can buy all the food required for next 1 month and keep it in the fridge and then heat it up and eat. what else will you have? And we can sit in a shunyagara. That's it. So with asavas. But to come into contact with asava, we should first work out on the asavas. Then we make it come in contact. Then don't do anything about it. Just observe. It will fall down. Just wait. It will fall down. Because there will no energy to be given. It can't survive. Yes, Aryu.
And I guess through this process, you get to learn about the mistake that you used to do, and you can change that habit. And
Yes, you can change the habits forever. And Aryu, another thing, another interesting thing. We ate so many ice creams and so many things while in the US. This time, I didn't eat. With Bobby, one ice cream only. Okay. And we were supposed to do testing on that Toblerone. So we used to have a lot of Toblerone. So he bought a lot of Toblerone, but he had quit by then eating Toblerone. And anyway, I don't want Toblerone. So I never ate anything just for the sake of it, one piece of Toblerone.
your asava has ended when you're in the US trip, right?
Yes. See, I didn't say no to it. I didn't say yes to it. We went to Baskin Robbins, 10 o'clock in the night. We had an ice cream. And we went to another place with Chirag and you and Vrinda. And then we went to that some boat kind or whatever that kind, fish kind ice cream, what they gave. And in fact, we had so many ice creams in San Francisco in a winter. Whereas here, since Bobby doesn't eat, I didn't ask him, Bobby, you know what? I love ice cream. What do you think? I didn't ask Shaniel. I didn't ask Viren. I didn't ask anyone. Take me to ice cream parlor. If you get it, eat it. Don't get it, nothing. There's no ice cream except for water and milk and whatever it is. There's nothing. You just keep it in the sun. You'll see the fun. It just starts to drip down and sticky because of sugar. So what else is there? There's nothing. So I didn't have that craving. So I was just watching Aryu, what we did in US and what I'm doing in Brisbane. Didn't have any kind of worries or any kind of feeling uneasy. I didn't have, I mean, anyway, Marin was doing a lot of idli and vada and, idli and dosa. Whereas there is a hotel near Bobby's home, Saravana Bhavan. So the same South Indian kind where you eat in that Madras cafe. Okay. We used to go and relish in each one of these restaurants. And I asked Bobby, let's go and have. He said, no, we'll not do it. And I only once I had a coffee on my own. I thought, let me have a cup of coffee, filter coffee of South Indian style. Okay, that was one. And then once with Sajal when we went for lunch. I think that's all. There is Bobby. So it was fun actually looking at how we did it in US and how we did it here. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, for you, obviously, it doesn't make a difference. But I'm wondering, is the difference due to you seeing me interact and we people have more asava related to food and Bobby and
Nothing
folks
like
have
that. See, in your case, anyway, you can't cook food. So going out is the most easiest thing, and you're eating in Google. So I can't ask you to, hey, stop going to Google and eating. It doesn't matter. It's not about what you eat makes the problem. It is how you eat makes the problem, right? How I relish is the problem. It's not about the food per se. Food per se is not going to create any problem to me. How does any food create a problem to you? Unless you relish it or you hate it, either way of the two ways, right? Asavas means fermented thing. wherein you can't see the reality. You either start liking it or you start disliking it. Food by itself will not do anything. Only I have to take care of some foods which will not be good for my stomach. That's all. Like I used to ask for curds. The reason is that not that I love to eat curds. It's because it will help me in the probiotic, and that's it. Because then I don't have to work out on constipation. So the only thing I had asked everyone is to give me some curds, because that will boost my digestive tract. Other than that, it's okay. Whatever is there is there. If I had not screwed up my digestive when I was 35-year-old, I would have been like this. So the enzymes are not there. So I have to keep on creating artificial enzymes through the probiotic. That's the only thing. And that has become like an habit. Without that, it doesn't work. So I ensure that I have curds. Sometimes I feel let's stop it and try to eat without curds. But I don't know. Need to try. Okay, so that's dasana pahatabba. So dasana means to see. So what I covered today was to see what really it is. Brisbane versus San Francisco versus Bangalore. What really it is. It's just a placeholder. So should I be in Bangalore? No answer. Should I be in Brisbane? No answer. Should I be in San Francisco? No answer. Because if I say yes, kama asava, bhava asava. If I say no, again kama asava, bhava asava. It's on the negative side now. Vibhava, tanha. No bhava, no vibhava, no kama tanha. So if somebody were to ask me which is strongest, it's the phassa, not the vedana, not the tanha, not the upadana, the bhava. It's not the jati. Main thing is bhava. So in this sutta, you will not find anything mentioned on jati. Why? Because bhava is stronger than jati. Upadana is stronger than bhava. Tanha is stronger than upadana. Vedana is stronger than the tanha. Asa is stronger than all. Remove the contact, everything is gone. It's a contact point. Tinna sangati phasso. That is where you need to cut. It's not on Vedana. What are you cutting on Vedana? Yes, initially Vedana is good. But asava, kaya, is when the phassa is removed. And the phassa happening where? Chakuncha paticha, rupecha upajati, chakku vinyanam. That is the one. The vinyana is falling on, or the nama rupa is falling on the vinyana. That's when the phassa happens. And as a tentacle of that contact is the feeling. As a tentacle of that same contact is perception. As a tentacle of the same contact is sankhara. So that's the reason what Buddha says. Ahara samudaya, rupa samudaya, phassa samudaya, vedana samudaya, phassa samudaya, sanya samudaya, phassa samudaya, sankhara samudaya, nama rupa samudaya, vinyana samudaya. So it would be foolishness to think about cutting at feeling, because the stronger one than the feeling is craving. No, the stronger one than the craving is the feeling. And the stronger one than the feeling is the contact. Okay. So in the Mulaka Sutta, the root of all things, Chanda Mulaka, Avuso Sabbe Dhamma. We are talking about Manasikara here. manasikara sambhava sabbe dhamma. Okay? Passa samudaya sabbe dhamma. Vedana samosarana sabbe dhamma. Samadhi pamukha sabbe dhamma. Sathadipataya sabbe dhamma. There are many more. Just have to take this following. For anything to happen, you need an interest. Yoniso manasikara, ayoniso manasikara, irrespective. Chanda. How it is possible? Through manasikara. You have the manasikara, then you should have passa. The passa, vedana. Then you need to have pamukha, the forerunner is samadhi. You need to have samadhi to do something. Then satadipataya, adipati, overlord, sati.